Have you ever bookmarked a bunch of articles, saved a few YouTube videos, maybe downloaded a PDF, and then later you're like, okay, where do I even start? That's exactly what NotebookLM is for. In one place, you can bring in your own sources like PDFs and docs, but also links, YouTube videos, and even do web searches to pull in information you want to learn from. Then you can ask questions and get summaries based on your material, not random stuff from the internet. And that's the real power here, curated notes. When you upload your own sources, you're basically telling the AI, use this information, the stuff I trust. You've already vetted it. You chose it on purpose. That's way better than downloading notes from the web where you don't know who wrote it, what they skipped, or what they got wrong. So in this video, I'm going to break down the NotebookLM screen step by step and show you exactly how to use each section. Super simple. Once you see the workflow, you'll realize this tool is actually easy, and it can save you a ton of time. Let's get started. Once you're inside NotebookLM, the first thing we'll do is make your first notebook. Click New Notebook. Give it a simple name like My First Notebook or the topic you're working on, then create it. Now you'll see a place to add sources. This is the key step because NotebookLM only works as well as what you feed it. First, try adding a PDF. Click Upload and choose a PDF from your computer. Give it a few seconds to process. Next, add a web link. Click Add Source, choose Website, then paste a link to an article you trust. Now add a YouTube video. Choose YouTube, paste the video link, and let it load. After you add a few sources, you're ready for the fun part. Go to the chat box and ask a simple question like, what are the main takeaways? Or give me a short summary in bullet points. Then try something more specific like, what does the author recommend? Or what are the pros and cons mentioned across my sources? Notice how the answers stay focused on your material. That's the whole point. You're building your own trusted mini knowledge base. When you're reading an article, you don't always need the whole thing. Most of the time, there's just 1 or 2 paragraphs that are gold, like a definition, a key stat, or a simple explanation you want to keep. So here's a super easy habit that makes NotebookLM way more powerful. As you're reading, highlight the part you like, copy it, then paste it into your notes. Now you're not relying on your memory, and you're not rereading the same article later trying to find that one part again. You're building a clean set of notes made only from the best parts. And the reason this matters is simple. The better your notes are, the better your questions will be. And the better NotebookLM's answers and summaries will be, because you're feeding it the exact info you care about. Sometimes you don't have the perfect source saved yet, and that's where NotebookLM's search helps. Inside the Sources panel, you can search in 2 places. Drive, pull from your own Google Drive folders and files. Web, let NotebookLM automatically find new articles and sources online. Before you search, you'll usually see 2 research options. Deep research, more in-depth, more thorough, takes longer. Fast research, quick results so you can review and import sources right away. For this video, we'll use fast research because it's the easiest to show and it gets you moving immediately. So you type your topic. When is the best time to grow blueberries? Choose web or drive. Pick fast research. Click on blue button with the arrow and you'll get a list of suggested sources. Click on the more sources link to view more sources. When you click on the small square with an arrow in it, you will be taken to the source web page where you can read and decide if you want to include it in your sources. Then you just select the ones you want and add them into your notebook. These will be your curated sources because you've read through them and vetted them. The unchecked ones will be discarded. Click the blue import button to accept. When it comes to research, the big idea is simple. We want control over what goes into our notes. If you just rely on random internet searches and dump everything into your notebook, you end up with a mess, mixed quality, mixed opinions, and sometimes straight up wrong information. And then later, When you ask NotebookLM questions, it's answering based on notes you don't fully trust. That's why curating your own information matters. You're basically saying, I'm only keeping the parts that are useful, credible, and relevant to what I'm trying to learn. Now, NotebookLM does have a web search feature, and it's actually really helpful, but think of it like a shortcut, not an autopilot. Instead of you opening 10 tabs and digging around for an hour, NotebookLM can quickly pull up web sources related to the topic you ask for. It saves time because it does the heavy lifting of finding things. But here's the key part. You still stay in charge. You still need to look through what it found, skim it, and decide, do I trust this source? Is this actually answering my question? Is this good enough to save? And only if you like it, then you add it to your notebook. So the goal is, use web search to move faster, but curate the final notes yourself so your notebook stays clean, trustworthy, and actually useful.
All right, now I want you to look over on the right side of the page at the panel called Studio. This is basically your content factory, where NotebookLM can turn your sources into different kinds of outputs with just a click. First, look at the top right. See that little collapse icon? Click that anytime you want more space to focus on your sources. Click it again and the Studio panel pops right back out. Super handy when your screen starts feeling crowded. Now let's go through what each Studio card does. Audio overview. This gives you a quick, listenable summary so you can absorb the material without staring at the screen the whole time. Slide deck, in beta. This helps turn your notes into a simple presentation style layout. Great if you want something you can teach from. Video overview. This is for getting a video style summary and structure, like turning your research into something you could explain on camera. Mind map. This turns the topic into a visual web so you can see how ideas connect instead of reading everything in a straight line. Reports. This is more like a clean written breakdown, organized and easier to reference later. Flashcards, perfect for memorizing key terms and facts without rereading the same source over and over. Quiz. This checks if you actually understand what you just learned, not just read it and forgot it. Infographic, beta. This is the fun one. It tries to turn the big ideas into a clean visual summary, like a one-page cheat sheet you'd actually want to keep. Data table. This organizes details into rows and columns, which is great when you're comparing facts, stats, dates, or categories. In this video, we're going to demonstrate one example, the infographic, just so you can see how powerful Studio can be. But in the next video, we're going to go through every single one of these, and I'll show you real examples of what they generate, so you'll know exactly which button to use depending on what you're trying to create. Because once you understand Studio, you're not just taking notes anymore. You're turning research into content fast. Now let's actually make something with Studio, an infographic for the notebook we just built with our curated sources. Our topic is how to grow blueberries. So what is an infographic? It's basically a visual cheat sheet. Instead of reading through pages of notes, an infographic pulls out the key points and organizes them in a way that's fast and easy to understand. Perfect if you want a one-page summary you can review later or even share. And here's the best part. In NotebookLM, making one is almost effortless. All you do is go to the Studio panel, find the card that says Infographic, and just click it. That's it. NotebookLM takes the information from your curated sources and tries to turn it into a clean visual overview, like the main steps for growing blueberries, important tips, and the must-know details all in one place. Now remember, because we curated the sources ourselves, the infographic is being built from information we actually trust. So the output is usually way more useful than something pulled from random search results. Alright, now that the infographic is done, click it to open it up. So this is basically a one-page guide for growing blueberries. What I like is it gives you the whole process at a glance. It shows the big essentials like full sun, the right soil pH range, organic matter and soil quality, consistent watering, and a simple timeline from early years to full production. And down here it even compares different blueberry types so you can pick what fits your area. The best part is, it's not just pretty. It has enough detail built in that you can use it like a quick reference guide without digging through all your notes again. And once you have this, you can download it, share it, or even save it as a quick guide you can pull up anytime, like before you plant, or when you're checking if you're doing everything right.
Alright, so that was just one example of what Studio can do, an infographic. In part 2, we're going to come back to this same Studio panel and go through the rest of the cards one by one, like audio overview, slide deck, video overview, mind map, reports, flashcards, quiz, and data table. I'll show you real examples of what each one generates, and more importantly, when you should use each one depending on what you're trying to create. So if you want to turn your notes into content faster and actually use NotebookLM like a toolbox, make sure you catch part 2. If this video helped you out, please hit like and subscribe. It really supports the channel. And if you found it useful, drop a quick comment below. Even just helpful is fine. Those likes, subs, and comments tell YouTube this video is worth showing to more people, so it helps others find it too. Thanks for watching.